I just want to break down everything and make sure that we break down like every little detail, not just like the gameplay, right? We can talk about like mentality, of course, as well. So I'm assuming this is first game. Yeah, it is, right? You can see he has 0 points. He's probably pushing early with the FAMAS because he has shield, the enemy doesn't, right? The other guy tried to pop big and then he's trying to prevent him from doing that. He has huge HP advantage, doesn't really care about, you know, like boxing him or anything. It's off spawn fight. Just wants to full engage there. Okay. Probably second kid at Sweaty is probably the last guy here at Sweaty. Obviously these guys are not that good as compared to NOAHREYLI because of the fact that it's game 1. So he feels he's going to play completely different game 1. I think this is obvious to most people. You should not be playing the same in game 1 as compared to the rest of the game, rest of the tournament to this. So first of all, when he opens this, shoot ramp, right? Reset because he's expecting the shot. He places the ramp to like screw this guy over so he can't place a backward ramp. At his boat, gets another hit, right? Luckily this guy places this wall so they block him off, but now it really has a really big HP advantage. Takes this wall. At this point I would actually justify jumping in, right? If he hits this and gets this cone, it would have been really nuts. Unfortunately he doesn't. Shoots once to try to take the wall. He could shoot again to take it. I think that's fine too, but he elects to shoot him with the pump. He hears someone else coming, I'm assuming. There you go. Someone else sneaking up. Go back actually. 115, but notice he gets hits as well, so like it's gonna be careful. He spaces back to make sure that he doesn't get one pumped, and finishes the fight. Move it out of the way. Yeah, and he's winning the fight through HP, so he's doing a lot of... Wow, okay, that was good. So first thing first, he gets initial damage right here. It's some 60, right? Doesn't crack him, obviously, because that guy started with 200 HP. Doesn't have a big enough HP advantage right now to justify jumping in at all, right? Smacks once. This indication right here, you see the body language of the opponent. This guy pulls out his gun, right? He's running forward also. That sort of body language tells you that he's going to edit and come out, right? Unfortunately for the other guy, he makes a really poor edit and NOAHREYLI hits him for 129, places the wall. That's why you do the diagonal box fighting, by the way, in the first place. The whole reason you send on the diagonal and not in front of the box is because you have that second piece that you can place if they run out towards you. And here, obviously, he places the cone so this guy can't rip him off, and then full boxes him. It's funny because aim happens to be really important here. He hits really hard shots, right? Didn't see him in the build, so he probably thought he was in the bush. He goes straight up against here because he can't really find an easy diagonal. He's not going to spend all the time to go over here, right? Also, he has a pretty decent HP advantage, but I think he wants to end the fight quickly. I actually think it would be better for him to make another box because I think he's crosshairing here because this guy's mispositioned, right? This isn't actually a peek. This is a bad, not necessarily edit, right? But this is a bad angle to be looking from it, right? Why is he standing here? What is the point of making a peanut butter if your whole body's exposed, right? You should actually be standing right here. This is the whole point of the peanut butter, so that when you have gun swap delay, you're not exposed, and then you jump up, you peek up very tiny, and then you shoot back. NOAHREYLI actually paying attention to what the opponent's doing and where he's standing, feels really confident that he can just cross their place and end the fight quickly. NOAHREYLI elects to do this and ends the fight really quickly as a result. He gets hit, so he does need to heal, but then there's a third party. So look what he tries to do. He's gonna probably try to expand and make some space because he needs to heal. Right now, who's winning? NOAHREYLI or the opponent? Right now, NOAHREYLI's losing, right? Because he just, you know, he's getting third party. He's at 110 HP. The other opponent, you just assume he's 200 HP to start, okay? So in this case, NOAHREYLI needs to play the defensive. This is probably the same guy, I'm not entirely sure. It's 100. This guy's really lost, right? He's holding blueprint out. This guy is making a very bad mistake, right? Which mistake is that? This guy is trying to hold a wall. I don't think that's a really good habit to do because of the fact that, like, if the enemy gets the wall, you die, and if you don't get the wall, let's say this guy gets the wall, the guy who's holding it, then nothing happens, right? So then overall, like, on average, it's a negative case. Like, it's not really good for you. Ideally, the first time when NOAHREYLI's spraying on this wall, you just want to leave, get out the back, right? Go in the opposite direction and make another box. Try to 2x1 box fighting every single time when you're playing the defensive. This guy is, like, beyond unaware. This guy shoots the wall. NOAHREYLI holds it, gets it, because this guy's not trying to replace. He's just trying to shoot NOAHREYLI, right? That's why NOAHREYLI resets and holds. And then after that, because the other guy pumped, you'll notice the other guy pumped right now, right? Because the other guy pumped, NOAHREYLI knows he has a really easy wide edit and kill, because you have to understand this guy's pump is not ready. He just shot. The other guy made the mistake of pumping the wall. You usually don't want to pump the wall because people will do this tactic on you where they just make wide edits on you after you pump the wall accidentally, right? So this is where this guy's just GG. It's over. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes in fighting in game 1, right? I think that's like the main mistake that a lot of people do. That's why you can W key in game 1. Obviously, you should know yourself. You should be self-aware and understand that, like, if you're not that good at fighting, then you shouldn't W key. Really good movement there, but NOAHREYLI. Deal. This guy makes the mistake of not expanding. He's standing right up against the wall, probably tries to hold it. NOAHREYLI takes it, right? You have to understand it's not a zero ping thing. You should always be just not holding a wall. Just make more space, right? There's 3 options when, you know, someone comes up to your wall. What are they? Option number 1, you hold the wall, right? This is what we talk about. This is not good. We've just established this. Option number 2, you're gonna edit on them, right? Because usually I would say it takes like an average of like 2 to 3 swings to break your wall. So in between those 2 to 3 swings, you can edit on them, right? You can elect to edit on them, and I think that would be, in some situations, a good option, right? If you're really low and the other guy's 200 HP, probably a bad option. Maybe you can do it to like get them off of you so you have time to heal, but that's different. In this case, in the case that just happened, I don't think this is a good option. Third option, right, is to expand. This is what the other guy should have done. Yellow robot should have done this, right? This is the good option. He should not try to do this because, you know, sometimes with zero ping or low ping. So this is a horrible option, right? Just pick one of these 2. Depending on the situation, you should always be doing one of these 2. And I think you'll be in a much better situation where you don't get surprised like that yellow robot did. Okay, NOAHREYLI's at 1k mats. It's a nice pre-fire on this guy. What this guy should have done is pretty obvious. When you do triple edits, you should try to place the wall before you edit the cone. In general, that's a much better pattern, right? Because that makes it so that you don't get shot during this situation. Look, right here. You can actually place walls through the cone. So instead of editing the cone, then placing the wall, he should just place the wall, then edit cone, then edit wall, right? So he makes the mistake of placing the wall after the cone, which obviously is not ideal. Leaves him exposed for an unnecessary amount of time, and he gets hit for 118. This is where NOAHREYLI full pieces and clips this guy, so there is that. Really good diagonal box fighting. It does it from a layer up so that he doesn't get height retake on. If you get into a situation where there's a 2x1 like this, I think the best situation you can do is like place a floor right here on this exact spot that I'm talking about, right? You can do the same thing on the other side over here, right? The key thing is so that you can right hand peek one of the boxes, and once you get this wall, this guy's gonna be limited to go into one box, and now you can work on this one box. Okay, tries to take the wall, misses the shot. This is really nice piece of control though. So again, takes the side, goes to the left hand here, resets, right? That's why you do diagonal box fighting, right? It's because if they ever edit on you, you have to understand they have gun swap delay, and your reset on the wall is instantaneous, and just block the shot. After he blocks the shot, look what he does. The same concept that we talked about earlier, right? If you block a shot and the other guy shoots his shotgun, you should edit immediately and perhaps even make a wide edit. Block the shot right there, edit, shoot, free hit for 100, right? And then doesn't care about the left hand really because he has a huge HP advantage. I think it's really important in Fortnite because it's not just a 1v1, right? It's a battle royale. You have to make sure you end fights quickly so you don't get griefed. That you take some risks, right? Take some left hands, take some, you know, jump in boxes. Do it with an HP advantage though, right? Because if you do it with an HP advantage, most likely you'll win the fight. He doesn't take the risk at 200 versus 200. He takes the risk once he hits the guy already, a really hard number, and then he takes that risk. Full box, right? Catches the shot right here. Pump 100. This guy's shooting AR and hugging the wall. When you're hugging the wall, it's really hard to replace, so he doesn't care about, you know, holding that much. You're never gonna get replaced on. This kid is minus. Give me a fucking ball. No. Okay, do you see why? Do you see exactly why I say that thing, right? Do not hold. Right? That's why I say it. This guy just got hit for a 180 for free. 180. Obviously, this guy's like zero ping. Like he's really low ping, and he still lost to that concept. This is why it's not reliable to be low ping and still do that, right? It's not a good concept. You should always choose to edit or just expand. Received it. Do not hold walls. It's one of the biggest sins in Fortnite, and I'll probably make a video on that too. I just think that it's like so overdone that I find it shocking, honestly, like that people are still doing it. It's really bad. And if you're just holding walls willy-nilly like all the time, it's gonna be really rough. This guy's a full piece. Holy beast. This is where like we VOD review this, and obviously it's like we can't really copy that, so like I'm not too worried about that. Like don't worry about that. Worry about the concept that really does, like this, you know, right hand right here, like taking the wall like this. Something simple as that. Obviously, it's pretty obvious that right hands are important in Fortnite, but a lot, like, how well do people apply it? NOAHREYLI applies it really well. That's why he's good. So he's getting full sprays. Okay, he's losing right now, right? Who's winning, the opponent or NOAHREYLI? It's definitely the opponent because he hit him for free. NOAHREYLI's very low. NOAHREYLI's not going to take peeks. He's going to try to get his shields off, and then he's going to trade a fight, right? It's very important you do this in order. Heal, then fight. If the other guy has 200 HP, do not try to fight him. But in this case, I think NOAHREYLI would be better off trying to, you know... Wow. Okay, so obviously this guy's playing way too aggressive. Jumps in. So when someone's trying to jump in your box, if you feel confident with your aim, you should not try to hold the wall because they can exploit through the hold, right? You should actually try to hold your shotgun out. So that's exactly what NOAHREYLI does, right? Holding shotgun out for two reasons. If the guy's trying to replace, you can pre-fire him and then flip cone run. If the guy's trying to jump in, right, as they jump in, they have to have gun swap delay because they have to pull out their gun because they just had their pickaxe out, and NOAHREYLI already has gun, so he can shoot insta, right? Just like this. Hits a really nice headshot. But notice, even if he doesn't hit the headshot, right? It's not, notice how this is not aim reliant. Even if he doesn't hit the headshot, look what he's trying to do right after. He's trying to edit his cone. If he edits this tile, he's immediately covered. You can actually shoot and edit before the other guy's gun is ready. Have some sort of backup, edit, reset, or, you know, place where you can actually completely block off the shot that's coming from a gun swap delayed opponent. Does that make sense? Right? So that's what the diagonal box fighting as well, right? When I talk about diagonal box fighting, where like you have a box here and a box here and you're right hand peeking someone, that's what I'm talking about. If they run out at you, they have gun swap delay because they just made an edit on this wall. You can shoot and then place this wall before they can shoot you. So understand that. It'll help you a lot in Fortnite. I think it's one of the most important concepts in Fortnite that a lot of people neglect and don't understand. I call it the safety. You always have a backup plan, right? Whether it's, you know, editing a cone underneath you or placing a wall on a diagonal box fighting scenario. Your pick. 400 mats. He's playing endgame now in a really unstacked endgame, obviously, because it's first game. So 3 enemies left. He's just spraying as many people as possible to get them weak, but also just get them fight each other. That's why when you're on height with a lot of AR, you just need the pressure. Don't ever stop shooting AR if possible. Also, make sure you understand, like, the priority is to stay ahead if possible, but, you know, don't lose track of that. Like, don't just be backstorm and just, like, spraying everyone, because that'll sometimes, like, get you killed as well. Almost full bucks. He gets that kill because he actually hit him. So 48 points first game, really solid first game. So he's doing good. I want you to understand, this is where mentality comes in, okay? So now, obviously, because he has 48 points, he's somewhere probably in top 3 in the leaderboard. He's going to get into what I call high elo lobbies, right? Really, really hard lobbies. It is fine if you do bad in these, right? Because NOAHREYLI just proved that he can come back, right? So if he can come back, I think you guys can come back too. It's not just mechanics that make him come back, it's the game sense. Winning 3 games is not because of his mechanics, right? It's a supplement to it. It's a reason as to why he won these 3 games, but the main concepts, right, that he applies to win the games is way more important than what he does to full box someone, stuff like that. The story of this cash cup, right, is that he does extremely well game 1, proceeds to lose the next like 6 games, and then wins the last 3. That's what happens in this cash cup. So I want you guys to understand, this tells us a story. It's never over till it's over, first of all, right? A lot of people give up cash cups, right, before it's over. They could be behind a lot. Obviously, NOAHREYLI has a really good first game, but then he trolls literally for the next 4 to 5 games, right? Does really bad. Obviously, he's getting killed, but then he doesn't do good in the end game, right? He dies like top 30 pretty much every game. Here's an example. I'm pretty sure this is an example of him dying. It's really important you understand that you do not quit. Do not quit these solo cash cups, right? If you have 3 games left with an hour, you can definitely do really, really good. Doesn't matter, right? What points you're at. Just really focus on understanding how to win solos, and I think it'll help you guys a lot. For sure.
Ooh. What's up, bro?
You see what he tried to do here? When this guy tried to jump in, shoot, safety. Shoot, tries to flip the ramp. Unfortunately, he flips it bad, right? That's why he still gets in the box, but then he's ready for that outcome too. Like, he reacts really quickly. 66. Tries to full spray this guy with other lobby.
Come on, very right. Take
Guy's
him out.
definitely dead.
Take him out. Come on. Take this kid out. Take him out. Take him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out of here. Yeah, get him out of here. Twitch David, bro.
Poor kid, bro.
Get me not out.
NOAHREYLI should be fine. He should be fine. Okay, he's in half-half with the really healthy mats, actually. 2 pads and 3-2-3. This is a good game right now. I don't know how he messes this up. This might actually be his first win, though. So really good kill. This actually, yeah, he might have skipped a lot of games in the tourney, so this might actually be his first win. So his plan right now is just going to be double pad first moving and just place 2 boxes, right? You don't want to be taking height during the time when it's going to change players. You want to get it at the end when everyone's done going for it, which is usually around 2nd, 3rd moving. Obviously, there's situations where you can hold height, but I think this meta right now with shadow floppers and launch pads, very sketch. Don't take it early, in my opinion, in solos. You don't have the mats reliably to hold it from half-half. He's considering height now because of the impact, right? Look at this. 400 wood, 350 brick, and 420 metal. Now is the time to start thinking about height. Unfortunately for him, he pulls max. So what should he do here? Should he tarp or should he pad? I personally think he should pad, obviously, because it pulls max. Perfect pad. Wow. Okay, so let's talk about this. Right? He has a really good eye to understand that this perfect pad. So if you want to know the number of blocks of height that the pad takes you, it's 9.5. Okay, the pad takes you up 9.5 blocks, but obviously NOAHREYLI's not counting right now. He's just eyeballing it. So he pads, gets a really nice pad, lands perfectly in his box, and takes the fight. He should be able to win height here because of his mats. So first he's going to take the time to heal off, then he could potentially go ahead or take height now. Let's see what he does. I think taking height right now is bad because it's really backstorm, right? He's not ahead, but he needs to like get ahead a little bit and then think about it again. You can see him. Look how slow he's building. We all know NOAHREYLI is very capable of building really fast, right? But pay attention. He's playing really, really carefully. Like, really making sure he's placing one build, not overusing, right? Like, you know, placing very careful. His mouse movement is very slow, even though we know he's capable of very fast builds, right? It's not important to be fast here. It's important to be deliberate and making sure your builds are not, you know, placing where you don't want them to place. He's trying to spray from ahead because he has priority on zone than this guy. He's more ahead. This guy comes down, which is really good. If this guy stays up, it's actually really bad. NOAHREYLI can spray him out. I think NOAHREYLI can cut him out here, maybe. He can definitely take height soon, though. Next zone, I think he can take it. You can do what I call the savage strat. Taking height when you're both backstorm is really grief. It's really, really grief. Unless you're doing it where the other guy's unaware. Yeah, he's trying a lot, right? The thing is, that's how important solos are. That's how important height is in solos, right? That's why he's doing it. NOAHREYLI knows he has a lot of mats. So in this case, it makes sense to go for it. Because of the fact that like you're just gonna outmat the hype player. Oh, this guy, poor guy, he got pokeballed. Beautiful kill. That's risky. That is so risky. I don't like this at all. That is a horrible. I don't think that's good. You can tell there's a guy here, right? That's what I'm noticing. So this kill is good. What I would do is spray this guy and get him to get out and then maybe go for it. But this is way too risky. He has builds. I know he only has 15, but I think 15 is enough to hold hype for a little bit longer, right? It's just too much to go for that. It's too much of a risk. I think what he tried to do is like, I'm gonna try to get away with it, right? Like maybe I can get away with it, even though I know it's wrong. I could probably like go for it, get out before this guy can notice, take a risk, but it's not ideal. I think holding height might be a better option there. Obviously, it's much easier for me. I say this all the time. I'm VOD reviewing. This guy's playing the game. Much harder to perform than just VOD review and say everything in hindsight, obviously. Of course. But I think even NOAHREYLI in hindsight would not go for that. 15 builds is enough to hold height, but at least for a little bit. Good shot. So he gets that cone, right, to block him. Pump doesn't shoot here, but look what he does. He moves to the left because you can see the opponent moved right here. Like he's behind the wall. He's literally right here. If you can see transparent walls, right? He's right here. He's gonna swing really close. So what NOAHREYLI needs to do to be careful of that, because this guy's obviously crosshairing right here, is move over to the left, let him come in. He looks left a little bit to edit, but then you can see him for a second, right? It's a really nice shot. This guy pre-fires a little early. The other guy.
Oh, my gun doesn't shoot.
I don't know about that.
Like,
oh, that's so close. He crosshairs there for a second. Tries to wait for the guy to edit. Reloading P90. He's just gonna edit. Oh, he's gonna edit wide and then just spray it, right? Don't need to replace or anything. I'd love to see a stair there because the cone can be used by the other guy. However, I think he had a big HP advantage. It didn't really matter, right? Like if you do a cone, the other guy can use your cone to sort of like as a peak. However, if you place a stair, it's like more edits for you, right? It's a pros and cons for both styles. But this thing with the stair is that they can't really use it as a peak, right? You can just like keep moving the stair, make sure they fall right into your line of sight. He's gonna go up from the front. This is a good idea, I think. This guy, that guy's not the hype player, by the way. Hype player's up higher. Very good. He should go for it. He should go for it. Yeah. Hits him hard. The other guy drops as well because he's too scared. Understand that NOAHREYLI and the other guy he just sprayed is literally the same HP. He didn't crack him. He just hit him 30, 32, 36, whatever the number was, twice, right? So they're both around 150. It's just that the other guy doesn't know NOAHREYLI's 150. Harpoon, nice. Holds mats. Siphon mats. The thing is, like, the reason why I'm not talking when he's on height is there's not much to say. Other than the fact that he's staying 3 blocks above second height, there's not much to say. This is the easy part. The hard part is this, guys. I say this all the time. The hard part is the retake. This is what you should be focusing on. Don't focus on like VOD reviewing this section. There are certain things here that you can optimize, but I don't think this is the hard part. Right? A lot of people will play this pretty well, right? Once they get height, they know how to keep it. The only thing you should like really make sure you're doing is just pay attention to behind you. A lot of flopper players will come up behind you, look up once in a while for storm floppers, or rather shadow floppers and, you know, launch padders, and just make sure you're aware around you so you don't get pumped in the back by like some random guy who didn't expect, you know. You're just forcing people down so that they all get on the same layer and fight each other. This guy on second height is challenging him. No really needs to kill this guy, I think. I think he dropped, actually. Kill. Notice what he's doing now, right? At this point, it's bad to stay ahead because you'll probably get chopped out. Also, you don't have enough mats to stay ahead. Once you invest like 7 floors to get ahead and then connect in the front, someone could chop you out. And then you just use way too many mats, right? Also, if you use a lot of mats and then someone tries to crank above you and then you don't have mats left, it's not ideal. So he's sort of going 1 block at a time. When you're in a height like this, you should just go 1 floor at a time from the back. It's much harder to get chopped out. No one really looks back in storm to shoot you out. But if you like expand across the zone in really late movings like this, it's a little bit more dangerous. Right? Just go 1 floor at a time, just like this. Clearly, no one's interested in height anymore. NOAHREYLI definitely got top 2 this game for sure. Right? Now, whether he wins the game, it would depend on how well he third parties the last 2, but also, more importantly, hitting his shot in the final fights. Okay, good. He lands IO based in mid-map. This is, if you want context on the last one. Picked up that medal. He has a decent amount of builds now instead of just the 1 build. Got him up to like 7 builds, which is a big deal. Mat count off spawn is one of the most important things for sure. If you could take the time to like go into arena and then figure out what gives you most mats around your POI and like make a route around it, that'd be helpful, right? Like I'm just gonna make a bad edit. Oh, okay, nice. Wow.
Code.
That's interesting.
I'm just gonna fight this.
He reset and made the exact same edit. That was funny.
Yes, get the code, Mike.
This is choppable. No, it's not. He's looking. This is what I call the blind spot right here. Do you see this? If you just ramp up slowly, first of all, the guy on height has no clue you're here because you're backstorm and you're like under him, right? You're not out to the side. You have to understand, right? This is the zone, right? If you're tarped on at like height like this, the height player is gonna look to the right and see all of this area, and then he's also gonna look to the left and see all of this area. They don't see right under them, right? That's why certain players, when they tarp, they go out to the right so they can right hand peek their floors and look down and look all in one section, and then they like make L shapes like this, right? So that once they're ahead, they can look back and also see under them, right? That's why you make the L shape. Like I call it the candy cane. You look under your tarp so you can't, you know, get caught out or like surprised by someone. Tries to get the cone above him there. Good idea. The pump is enough to dissuade him though. If you get up damage on him initially, it not only scares them, but also they're just gonna lose the fight if they continue, you know, fighting. HP advantage is too much. So this guy's really low, by the way. NOAHREYLI should totally aggress this. Doesn't have to go down to aggress it, by the way. Don't have to box fight everything. AR spray and SMG spray is one of the most underrated things, especially if you have gold P90, you should take advantage of it. But like, even if you don't have a gold P90, let's say you have green AR. If you have 300 AR like this guy does, right? If NOAHREYLI has 300 AR and doesn't have a P90, he should just be spamming AR, right? It's the safest way to apply pressure. If you can AR spray, do AR spray, right? And it pulls back as well, so NOAHREYLI has a whole tarp to follow. Like he doesn't have to use his mats. He just needs to spray. Get everyone down on the same layer. This is sketch. He should definitely go up. The reason why he needs to go up right now, even though clearly there's no one up here, is because someone pads from storm and gets height above him. It's GG. So this is why he's working his way up, because there is a possibility that someone pads out to the side of storm and then goes up and lands above him. So you just want to be on the highest build possible. Ball builds, he goes down because there's no old builds above him anymore. Just trying to pressure as much as possible. He's gonna use all of the P90 here, I think. You know, any ammo. Yeah, just need to spam over and over and over. Force fights. Force fights that you don't have to take part in. 3 builds. Very simple right now. He doesn't have heal off, right? So he's gonna look to take the fight, but he's gonna time it well. He's gonna drop at a perfect time. Nice.
Get the f out, digga!
Nice. More mats. He knows the guy's under him. Look when he releases the edit, right? Look how intentionally he's doing this. He holds the edit until he's all the way left. That gives him the best chance for a right hand peek here. Unfortunately, this guy's a right hand peek of his own, but normally does trade back. And then sprays right through. This is how underrated spray is, right? You have to understand. Remember what I said earlier in the video? How I said it's really hard to hold a wall if you're hugging it. Look at this guy. He's hugging the wall, right? So if you spray him when the guy's right here, right, really hugging the wall, he is gonna have a really hard time to replace, right? Because you have to actually look straight down or straight up to place this wall. Otherwise, the wall's gonna place over here. Do you see that? So then if they're standing really close to their wall, try your air spraying them. Luckily for NOAHREYLI, he has a blue SMG, so he's gonna do a really good job of that. This is why, like, you should pay attention to where they're positioned. If you find a situation like this, you're gonna get free damage. Already has a blue pump, doesn't need that, so he's just gonna farm up and then another mid-game fight. Okay, so I already see a problem. When he places this floor right here, he should not have it singled, right? He should just place a cone as well, because it's building right now. It's pretty weak. We already know this guy has a tendency to SMG and spray at you. So there's a reason that you should believe that he's going to do the same thing. See how he's spraying right here? So he's showing a pattern of like spraying at you. You should try to make sure your top is completely covered, especially if you're going into reform. You're going to have your pickaxe out when he does spray in, right? So you're not going to have an advantage here. Really, really low. He does hit a nasty shot.
Fuck out,
but this is wrong. Do you see how crazy his aim is? Like how crazy his aim has to be for him to succeed in this fight? He has no crosshair placement whatsoever. Hits a headshot. Right? Not really a headshot, but like 90 is pretty hard shot.
Get the fuck out.
And then amazing target switch into AR tracking, right? I would recommend that he places the cone. That's the game sense. Obviously, most people in this scenario, I would say 99% of people that are in NOAHREYLI's position would not win that. Fortunately for him, he wins the game, which is really, really nice. So this game right here, I believe we've watched, so well, let's watch this. We've already made a YouTube video on this one, but I wanted to go through it again, actually. So let's see. Actually, you know what we'll do? I've made a YouTube video on this part already. I'm gonna link it on screen right now. So if you want to watch that video, you can totally do that. Definitely go watch that video. It covers this really in depth, and I did a good job of explaining it then. So definitely watch it, and I think you'll understand how he wins this specific game. So go on over to that video, and I think you'll like this last game. This is how he wins the entire solo cash cup with this last game here. That's the exact same concept. Before I go, right? Like he does this blind spot thing. It's really, really strong. So if you can find a way to get under height and get up, definitely try that.